Welcome to week 1 of Lent and to the first of a series of weekly videos that are designed to support you in your centering prayer practice. Now, if centering prayer is a new concept for you, you might want to start with my Introduction to Centering Prayer video for instructions and more information about this method of centering prayer. Each week in these videos, we'll start with a prompt. Then you'll begin silent meditation that begins with a chime. At that point, you can begin your own timer for the duration that you like to set. You might want to pause this video at that point if you would like to have the candle and backdrop as a focal point to return to during your meditation. Now, during Lent at FUMC Loveland, the sermon and worship series, as well as the Lenten Bible study, is based on the book Entering the Passion of Jesus by Dr. Amy Jill Levine. In these weekly centering prayer videos, I will read the scripture passage associated with the week's sermon and book chapter. Now, after I read the scripture, I'll take a few moments of silence for you to get settled before you hear the chime. But just as a reminder, in the method of centering prayer, you are focused on spending time in silence and stillness with God, not on reflection or thinking of any kind. So you are not to reflect on the scripture that I read per se, but as you spend time in silence with God, you might find in the hours or days to come that some insight or stirring within you has been prompted by the scripture. So we will begin with Matthew chapter 21 verses 1 through 11, and I am reading from the CEB translation. When they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage on the Mount of Olives, Jesus gave 2 disciples a task. He said to them, "Go into the village over there. As soon as you enter, you will find a donkey tied up and a colt with it. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, say that their master needs them." He sent them off right away. Now this happened to fulfill what the prophet said, "Say to daughter Zion, look, your king is coming to you, humble and riding on a donkey, and on a colt, the donkey's offspring." The disciples went and did just as Jesus had ordered them. They brought the donkey and the colt and laid their clothes on them. Then he sat on them. Now a large crowd spread their clothes on the road. Others cut palm branches off the trees and spread them on the road. The crowds in front of him and behind him shouted, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessings on the one who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest." And when Jesus entered Jerusalem, the whole city was stirred up. "Who is this?" they asked. The crowds answered, "It's the prophet Jesus from Nazareth in Galilee."